Hello, and welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today we have Broken Binding unboxing. This, my friends, is the October science fiction title, which is Children of God by Mary Doria Russell, sequel to The Sparrow. Although, my understanding is it's almost like a standalone sequel, if you will. I mean, I guess. We got lots of honeycomb packing material here to protect us. My understanding is The Sparrow kind of stands as its own story. You know, it doesn't really need a direct sequel. And here we have Children of God, which is kind of a direct sequel, although it doesn't necessarily need to be read as a duology. I mean, The Sparrow, I guess, stands on its own. And if you wanted to read further, you could read further, in this case, with Children of God. Within The Sparrow, I haven't read it yet, but I did do The Sparrow unboxing. Well, it was an August book, but I believe that it shipped a little late. So I want to say that one arrived last month in September. But with The Sparrow, we found out that we are not alone in the galaxy. Life was discovered on another planet, and while humanity was trying to figure out what to do with this discovery, a group of Jesuits blasted off into space to go to this planet first. How can you hear your soul if everyone is talking? So now here we have Children of God with very, very beautiful, at least at the top there, it's like beautiful stenciled edges. Bottom edge is kind of, very dark. We have a sparrow, or some sort of bird on the blocks there. But here we have a very heavy book. I think I said the same thing with The Sparrow. It's surprisingly heavy compared to their normal titles, especially for being a pretty thin volume here. Cover artwork by Patricia Gutierrez, I believe. I know she did the one for The Sparrow. Yep, Patricia Gutierrez did the artwork for this. Foil design by Rachel St. Clair. Endpaper artwork by Danil Luzin. Art direction by Patrick Leo and Ian van Oswegen. Mary Doria Russell was kind enough to sign The Sparrow. I don't believe she signed this one. I think she was just signing the first one. For I am every dead thing in whom love wrought new alchemy. She did sign it. That's incredible. Like I said, for some reason I thought I read in the email that she was only signing the first one, but she seems to have signed, or in this case, initialed. But she's an older author. Her wrist probably isn't what it used to be. End paper artwork by Danil Luzin here, showing some of the alien species. And here within Children of God, we find one of the Jesuits from The Sparrow, having returned to Earth and kind of dealing with the ramifications of having been to this alien planet with his teachings, finds himself assigned a new mission to go to a further part of the galaxy. Presumably a different planet? Another piece of Alpha Centauri to further spread the teachings. Father Emilio Sandoz, I believe is his name. So, even though it doesn't necessarily, need a sequel, here we have a sequel. So whether it be like a little standalone sequel of, I imagine you probably still have to read The Sparrow first if you were to read this one, since this is following a character from the first novel and dealing with the fallout aftermath of whatever he experienced in that first novel. It could be one of those situations where maybe they artfully and tactfully explain everything that you missed. Could be the instance. I'm not entirely sure on that. Well, it looks like even her acknowledgments use her initials, so maybe she's always signed using her initials. So unlike the fantasy books, the sci-fi books do not have any interior artwork. But I'm actually kind of impressed with the typesetting here. They had some issues with some recent of the sci-fi subscription titles, namely the Tad Williams titles, and then the... Tad Williams was fantasy. He wasn't sci-fi. But Tad Williams for the fantasy books, and then the Left-Handed Darkness for their sci-fi books, where they had essentially blown up the mass market paperback font to just a larger trim size. So what you were getting with those was just less than stellar formatting within. We're talking weird margins, like text that just are going deep into the gutter, or text that seems like it's large print, and less than stellar production with those ones. I mean, you still get the nicer artwork that's exclusive to the Tad Williams books, but the actual interiors were disappointing, to say the least. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with this one. I believe I was, like I said, equally impressed with the Sparrow. I mean, this actually feels like decent paper. I mean, it's still not going to be like fancy paper that you would get outside of a trade edition, but it's not cheap Bible paper. Although Bible paper would have been ironic given the Jesuit teachings of the characters here, I suppose. But you get like nice kind of hefty paper. Like I say, it's a thin volume, but there is 500 pages within it. It's over 500 pages, but it doesn't feel disgustingly thin with the paper. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of bleed through. You can see the text behind it there at the white space, but it's not, an abundantly clear bleed through, and it has heft to it. So I'm really impressed with this one. Hopefully this is kind of the upswing of their sci-fi titles, because they had some issues. They had some issues with Left-Handed Darkness and what preceded Left-Handed Darkness. I'm completely drawing a blank on what was the prior one, but I recall that having issues too, where they had serious delays. Doomsday Book had issues, including the dust jacket having to be reissued. But hey, The Sparrow and Children of God are both stellar productions here. If they keep up the good work with this, I mean, they're definitely making a name for themselves again as far as doing fine productions. Now, admittedly, I have said this many times, their productions are essentially just fancy trade editions. But hey, if they're getting great hardcover editions, which with fancy exclusive artwork, I'm all for it. It'd be cool if it had better, sewn bindings for the thicker volumes, or if it had interior illustrations like the fantasy ones did. But I'm not going to complain. I think still very nice production either way. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. There is a wait list for all 3 of the subscriptions from the Broken Binding, but I am actually on all 3 of them. So if you wanted to check these out month after month, or every 2 months in the instance of the sci-fi and their new subscription, be sure to subscribe to the channel here. Once I've read The Sparrow and Children of God, I would do a full book review on the channel. I do at least 1 full book review a week, with plenty of unboxing videos in between here and there. But check them out. Check out The Broken Binding. Check out Mary Doria Russell. And we'll see you around next time.